hoping this documentary will accomplish with the audience?
I'm hoping that it gives the audience a viewpoint of what trans women are like and what the prisons are like and how unfairly how unfairly they are being treated in our prisons. And I'm also hoping that Free CeCe is sort of the start of something, because there are other women in prisons that still need to be freed. So so I'm hoping that it opens up that conversation, and I'm also hoping that it begins to create a system so that this doesn't continue to happen.
Now, you're in Transparent. Share with us very briefly the role you play.
Well, I'm the director's assistant this past season, but season 4 I will be on camera, and I can't really diverge into that.
It's okay. As long as we get to see you on camera, that all that matters. What do you think is the number one misconception people have about the LGBT community?
I think the misconception is that we're completely different, which we're not. We all have similarities. You know, I identify as a trans woman, but that doesn't mean I'm different from another woman who identifies more masculine or more feminine than I do. We're all women, and same thing with the men. I think once we just open up the conversation to just understanding the journey. When you start talking to each other, everyone has a journey, and our journey just happens to be a little bit more in depth because we don't completely align with what we were assigned to at birth. So, but you know, with our transition, I think that cis people have their transition on their own. It doesn't necessarily have to be about their gender, but about, you know, having to find their identity. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We can't wait to see you on the next season, and you can't tell us what it is, but we're excited. Thank you. Trace, this is a wonderful film, and it's, I think, pretty historic. What are you hoping the audience will come away with after seeing this documentary?
I hope that the audience will come away with a sense of hope, specifically for trans women who are just trying to live visibly and go about their day-to-day lives. But a lot of us have experienced street harassment, which can start in the form of catcalling, or it can be hate from, you know, right from the get-go, and it can escalate very, very fast. And with CeCe's case, you know, she was just defending herself, and she was the one who ended up behind bars. So I hope that people come away with a different mindset, you know, about what trans women go through daily, and the precautions we take, you know, and the measures we take to defend ourselves sometimes, and how we're demonized through the media and marginalized. And so that's what I hope that they walk away with, is a sense of, you know, like a new way to think about trans women and what we go through every single day.
I know it's probably a redundant question, but what do you think the number one misconception is that the public has about transgender women and men?
Number one misconception, I think we're overly sexualized. I think that a lot of us can't get a regular job. You know, I'm lucky now because I worked really hard, and I got to a place where you know, I'm living my dream and I'm acting for a living, but that's not the case for a lot of my sisters. Like, a lot of my girls are still involved with sex work because they can't get normal, everyday, you know, jobs or pursue their dreams like most cisgender people can. So I think that's the number one thing, is that we're just overly sexualized. So that's a misconception, because it's really survival is what it is.
Yeah. You look beautiful, and I can't wait to see more of you on the show, and I can't wait to see the film. Enjoy the evening.
Nice meeting you. Bye.
I really hope that the audience can take away the human story of CeCe McDonald, particularly in this time where trans people are under attack, not only in the streets due to violence, but in our legislative life, specifically through public accommodation laws. So it's my hope that the human story of CeCe McDonald comes through, and people can recognize the value of life and that no one is disposable. Well, this film in particular is not your average trans film, and it's certainly not your average trans film about trans women of color. CeCe is such a strong spirit, and she really had to overcome some adversity, and that never really gets shown. There's always a fetishization that happens with trans women of color, and we don't get to see the strength, you know? And it's my hopes that people can relate to her, especially women. And she's an inspiration for women to fight back and to just feel that their life is worth it and their journey is important.
If you can describe your film in 3 words, what would the 3 words be?
Power, grace, and femininity.